Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Skip, aka Skip and Tosh, here of the Sacktown Breakdown. And man, it's gonna be a good one today, y'all. We got my main man, Tap 2K, of course, here. Go ahead and say what's up, Tap.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Yeah, and we have a very extra special guest, a guy who I met at a Comic-Con, oddly enough. But you don't know him for comics. You know him from talking about all the different Sacramento Kings news. You hear his laugh. It's infectious, so you already know who it is. Leo Beas of the Cowbell Kingdom. Go ahead and say what's up, Leo.
What's going on, guys? Tap and Skip, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited. As you guys know, it's a busy week for me in terms of wedding planning and just hell week in some sense. But, I'm getting through it, and I'm super excited to be here and for this big day.
Yeah, man. We fight through hell to get to heaven, man. So, hey.
I like that. You fight through hell to get to heaven. There you go.
That's right, man. That's right. But hey, congratulations, because you told us this like right before we were about to go online. Like me and Tap were like, what's going on? So from everybody here at the Sacktown Breakdown, we give a very big, hearty congratulations to Leo Beas and Mrs. Beas, or soon to be Mrs. Beas here soon. So congratulations,
I appreciate
man.
that, man. We're super excited, and we appreciate all the support and, of course, all the blessings and prayers that are coming our way.
Absolutely, man. Well, more to come. But for everybody that's joining us right now, you know how we do it. We like to give a rundown of what we're going to be covering today, and then we like to dive right into it. So being that we have Leo here, obviously we'll be taking advantage of his King's perspective on the kingdom. But first thing we're going to mention is the fundraising, the GoFundMe account that Buddy Hield has started and began for the tragedy and the devastation of the hurricane that has happened out there in the Bahamas. I've already donated, and I've put out a link. And largely what inspired me to do that was Manny and Leo putting up theirs as a reminder. You know what I mean? So they were just out there recently. I think before it happened. So Leo's going to talk about more about that in a little bit. We officially got our dates for Media Day and training camp, the mini camp. As well as we already had the preseason schedule for the India game. So we'll be talking about that. We're also going to talk about some minutes and rotations a little bit. We're not going to get super, super deep in the specifics and the particulars, but we're kind of arranging by priority, who should be starting, who should be coming off the bench, and you'll get all three of our perspectives on that. And then lastly, since it's such a big topic, and we cover the Sacramento Kingsguard here, you see I got my Kingsguard shirt on. I always got at least one Kingsguard piece of gear on. We're going to talk about NBA 2K and all of the controversy around it. Leo's got some feelings. You heard that big sigh. Leo's got some feelings about that.
Pissed me off.
Keep it bottled up, Leo. We're going to let you spew it all out. Tap does his rants here. We're going to let you do your spew here. We're going to get into it. But first, man, let's talk about the loving and just courageous thing that Buddy Hield is doing for all of the people in the Bahamas. I believe I heard that Aiton is involved as well. But Leo, you were just over there recently. Can you kind of fill us in on what happened over there, what Buddy Hield's doing, and the hope that he's bringing to the Bahamas?
Absolutely. So I was there July 21st through the 28th. We went to go cover Buddy Hield's Elite 24 basketball camp, which essentially is the top 24 prospects in the entire island. And even though I would say about 7 to 10 of those top 24 guys ended up going to play for their national team because they had to go play Puerto Rico in an elimination game. And so they had to sub in another 10 guys from the island, still pretty talented. I mean, all these kids are doing, windmill dunks, and they're super athletic. But what I noticed was that the skill level and the skill development isn't there yet. And you can tell just by watching them play and not being able to do a simple 3-man weave or just like simple drills that we learned at an early age. And I feel like they're so gifted athletically, but they're still so far away from a technical standpoint. They're not these Europeans like the Lucas of the world that are just so gifted coming out. They're not athletic, but again, I would, and that's where people call me a Bagley hater, but I'm like, no, I would rather have basketball IQ and field and athleticism any day of the week.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion. It doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means that that's my philosophy when I think basketball. So we get there. We cover this event. These kids are so gracious. It's just so thankful that we're there. Buddy Hield brought over about, I would say, 4 or 5 head coaches from Sunrise Academy, which is where he played basketball at a prep school in Wichita, Kansas, I believe. And he brought over these awesome coaches to come and coach and dedicate their times for the kids. And the kids were sponsored. They had Kobe ADs on, Nike uniforms, the whole thing. And it just shows how much he cares about his country, how much of an inspiration that he wants to be for his people. And as he said, and as we said in our documentary, every handshake, every backpack, every hug, every picture that he takes, he leaves a mark on someone's life, and you can't put a price on that. And a lot of these celebrities, public figures, I get it. It gets tiring, obviously, always taking pictures, and gets a little bit annoying. But he knows that deep down, for every time that he does that, there's something good that may potentially come out of that. And I heard him. There's so many things that I couldn't post on there because from I think the Bahamas have like these children laws where you can't post to kids faces and stuff like that. But he gave out so many inspirational speeches, and he's just such a loving guy, man. And he truly cares. And he's the type of guy, as I said in the documentary, that he will get down and dirty and go into the inner city and just give back. Again, people forget that he grew up in extreme poverty, and it's important to really highlight that because the people there really embrace him as a people's champ.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible. I mean, I had gotten the sense from him, earlier on when we had traded for him in that DeMarcus Cousins trade that
Best trade ever, bro.
oh boy.
I
Oh
was so
boy.
mad. I hated that trade.
Oh my
Now
god.
I don't, but I did then.
I told
But
him, bro. Is the thing though, like with a lot of people who are not in the end per se, that don't really don't have like that that access like a lot of the media does, and the environment was so bad. Like the negative vibes the last 3 weeks before he got traded were so bad that it was infectious. And the day he got traded, so the first day that we met Buddy Hield, you can just feel the air clear up. And this guy is so positive. You felt it right away. Like, I can't make this up.
Really.
There's no way of making this up. And people just see 28 and 12 from DeMarcus Cousins, but it was more than that. And the recreational fan will always see stats that are honestly just, they're meaningless when it comes to winning basketball. They're empty stats. And they've always been empty stats from a guy like that. So that trade happened. I was like, my goodness, the Kings just won this by a lot. And, it takes time for people to really see that. But to me and to a lot of people within the organization, it was the right move for sure.
absolutely. I've got a whole video coming out talking about Sacramento Kings before the DMC trade and after. So, Leo, you and me might have to collaborate a little bit on that.
Okay.
That video's coming out in a few weeks. But back to Buddy Hield and what he's doing, man. You're right. Like since the moment he got here, what I felt is kind of what you described, and it was hope. Like
Yeah.
this man is bringing hope. He's bringing positivity. He's bringing godliness. He's bringing a
Right.
hard work ethic, and you can see from what you guys have done in the documentary, the small clips that I've seen from when you guys went over there, this is a man who's about his family and about his people. And in their darkest hour, he
He's
went
God
there.
first and then his family, which is so important, which, some people aren't religious, but if you understand that aspect of life, that highlights how valuable that comes into so many things. I mean, that's to me, that's when Steph Curry's career changed. Like, honestly, when like he just gave his life to God and everything went in a positive direction. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth, Like,
Yeah,
if you hear Buddy's words, which is the first thing when we met up with him on that Tuesday, I think it was like September 3rd or 4th when we included that interview in our downtown studios. The first thing that came out of his mouth, he said, "God doesn't make mistakes," and that's after all the floods and the kids that passed away. Like, for him to say something like that, just speaks volumes and how positive and how strong that was of a mindset. Like, this is a guy that's depressed, that's upset, everything that's going on. And the first thing he says is God doesn't make mistakes. That's a hell of a mindset, and it makes me so happy.
Absolutely, man. Or a heaven of a mindset. And,
Right.
a man of faith, you know what I mean? Faith in
Correct.
his God, faith in his people, faith in his team, faith in his country. You will see that man stand firm in the darkest of times. And that's what we're seeing from Buddy Hield. So everybody who has not donated, I'm a single father with 2 kids. I donated what I could. I gave $12. But to whoever that $12 goes to, that mouth that gets fed,
Right.
that extra brick that gets bought to rebuild a house that was taken out, to those people, it matters. It counts. So even if you can give $1, give $1,
Correct.
but please consider donating if you can. And if you can't, please just retweet the tweets that you see from Manny, from Leo, and from Cowbell Kingdom, and we'll be partnering in as much as we can to retweet those as well, because we really want to. This Kings community has been so supportive of the team alone when we weren't going through hard times. So this is a cause you can truly get behind. So Leo, thanks for kind of giving us a peek behind the veil. And I'll get those links for you later so I can put them down in the YouTube version of this video so people can easily navigate to the GoFundMe and donate what you guys can.
It's at 181,000. So thank you so much to everybody right now. Honestly, that's awesome. And Michael Jordan donated $1 million today, which is insane. Bless
the GOAT.
bless his heart.
Bless his heart for blessing the people and the hearts in need.
Right.
So with us kind of putting a bookmark in that, we're gonna roll it over into what we're looking forward to when the Kings season comes. So we got media day and training camp day, or mini camp, announced. Tap, do you have those dates for us, and you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. It looks like the Sacramento Kings are going to start their training camp off September 28th. They're going to be playing in their downtown practice facility inside the Golden One Center. That's going to go through the 30th. And then the team's going to be traveling to India for a preseason, which is kind of crazy. And that's going to be against the Pacers, the 4th and the 5th in Mumbai. And then also, I guess, backtracking there, the Kings Media Day is going to take place on September 27th. So that's the day before the training camp starts, from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Kings practice facility. And then there'll be the coaches there. The personnel will be there. Interviews, headshots. That's what they'll do. All their stupid little GIFs and all their little social media stuff you'll see the rest of the year on Twitter, or like on the big screen when you're at the games, and they got maracas and they're dancing or whatever they do.
Right.
So yeah, 27th media day, 28th through 30th training camp, and then they're getting shipped off to India because they got games they got to go win. Preseason games, that is.
Yeah, man, which is going to be a really nice opportunity, with the owner of our team, Vivek Ranadive, being from over there. I think it's beautiful that, all of the efforts that he's done with everything from Simbular to, oh gosh, who was the other big 7-foot guy that?
We were just looking him up like a couple weeks ago. I found him. I gotta find him.
No,
Oh, that's gonna bother
it's
me.
all good. But this is another way for him to give back. And the nice part about it, even though that country itself, has some financial hurdles, it's a country full of love and a lot of passion. So, this is another thing, to see someone from their country who immigrated over to, this is the American dream. Not from the country, immigrates over to America, $50 in his pockets, becomes a billionaire, buys a sports franchise, and now sports, and kind of like Leo was saying, how these athletes, give these kids and these people from that country hope and things to aspire for. This is a similar thing. So now the franchise that he's purchased, he's bringing Buddy Hield, who's a hopeful guy. He's bringing Harrison Barnes, who's a hopeful guy. De'Aaron Fox, who's a slick and talented, quick fellow. Marvin Bagley. He's bringing all these people over and putting on a show and bringing hope to the people in India. And it's going to be a stretch because it's a long flight and food is different over there, and the time schedule and everything. It's going to be a hurdle. But Leo, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to with the Kings going over and playing some preseason games in India?
I guess the only hurdle is the travel time. I don't see it being much of a hurdle, but rather than a beautiful experience, because traveling, you can't take that for granted. Everyone doesn't get to travel, and you're going across the globe and representing your owner, the guy who cuts your checks. So I would be more than ecstatic to go over there. And obviously they're not going to be, in inside a motel room. They're they're gonna be in 5-star hotels, the best they got over there in India. Make no mistake about it. And again, if I'm these young cats, right, which we're roughly around the same age, enjoy your time, embrace the moment, live in the moment, and do your job. And by me saying do your job, I mean act like a professional. Don't act like Antonio Brown, and everything will be fine.
The shade right now is
Shout out
strong
to
with this
my
one.
Raiders, by the way. I'm just saying, Raider Nation. And
Raider
again, shout out
Nation.
to the Niners. I mean, E-Man is out here boom, but I'm like, no, I mean, I want the Niners to do well, and I want the Raiders to do well.
I feel it. I feel it. Tap is a Niners fan. I was born a Niners fan, so I got to stay one. Otherwise, my mama will renounce me.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
you might have to come over to my channel, and we might have to have a conversation about John Gruden and the 9 years left y'all got. But for right now,
bro, Chucky ran to the black hole after they won yesterday, and he was out there hugging the fans. I mean, it's so awesome to see how he just engages with his people, man. I mean, he truly he embodies the black hole, right?
I would say so.
I love that man, bro.
I feel it. Hey, man, passion is always well received. The travel will definitely be a hurdle, but like you said, man, I agree, especially for the young guys. I think it's good because, with Harrison Barnes, who I think takes really great care of his body, and he's a consummate professional from everything that I've seen. Class act, so for him, to be able to be there with these guys, and for the Trevor Arizas and the Corey Josephs to be able to be with these guys, show them how to go to another country, show them how to be a professional. These are all people that have, minus maybe Trevor Ariza, that have represented their country in one way or another, in national sports, so they can show, hey, I'm Harrison Barnes. I just took that flight. I just had to have that weird schedule. Me and Bogey, had to play at weird hours, in different hours than what we're used to. Let me show you guys how to do that. Let me show you how to do it with class and style. And another thing, this goes unappreciated. And I'm always constantly talking about relationships in the league. People just think players get paid money. They go out, they perform, just do this, just do that. But relationships are key between teammates, between players and owners, between head coaches and GMs. So to go on and put on a good show for your owner in the country that he's from, bodes well for all these guys that have already had discussions on staying together. Bagley and Bogey and Fox and Buddy. These guys want to stay together. Doing things like this and keeping your GM who just won, who just got himself in the Hall of Fame, and your owner who's taking this team over there for the first time. It goes a long way, man. So I see nothing but good things coming from this. Of course, we all know they're not going to play all the quarters over there, and this is preseason. So, the Tyler Lydens of the world and all these other guys are going to get their run, and they got to see what that talent is worth. But this is just to shake off the ring rust and, just kind of put on a show. We're going to see Fox do some crazy dunks and windmills and get people out of their seats and all that. Tap, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to from the preseason as a whole, but definitely from the Kings going over to India?
Well, first of all, is Kyle Guy, is he going to be there? Is he going with the team? He is, right?
Most likely. He's a two-way player, and it's preseason, so I think they want to see him go against some other talent of the same level. I don't see him missing this trip.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to see Kyle Guy, Justin James, and Wayne and Gabriel. I just want to see what the lower tier guys do, because I'm I love Kyle Guy's shooting in summer league during the what was it called? I have the poster back here.
California Classic.
There we go. I loved watching him shoot the ball. He was actually a lot better than I thought he'd be, and he was entertaining. And I'd love to see him play and do well in the preseason. And then Justin James, I want to see how he'll do. Wayne and Gabriel, I just want to see how our young guys can develop, because that's really what I'm most interested in. I mean, the main guys, the Aaron Fox, Buddy, they're not going to play that much, and they're going to play maybe 2 quarters or whatever. And that's no big deal to me. It is what it is. As long as they don't get hurt, I'm fine. I just want to see what the young guys can do.
Makes sense, bro. Makes sense. Well, I think we'll definitely get an opportunity to see that. I'm always interested in seeing, not that I'm big on this, but I'm interested in seeing who makes the cut and who gets cut.
Yeah.
I feel like Tyler Lydon might not make it through preseason. I mean, he's got to shoot lights out.
He's not going to make it.
That's my prediction as well. I don't think he will. And I'm actually hoping for a roster spot to open up. I'm going to say something controversial later, but I'm going to leave it for later on in the cast when we start talking about rotations and minutes and stuff like that.
Well,
But
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
keep it real with you. I'm a white guy. My name's Tyler. My favorite number is 43. That's also Tyler Lydon's number. He's white. He's number 43. I don't like that. He's taking my spot. I know. I was planning on going to the open workout, dominating it, and getting my last roster spot. He's in the way. So I mean, I'll play one-on-one for it. I'm not worried.
well, tap.
I'll
We
play
don't
one-on-one too with my bum ass ankle.
I'll play one-on-one with my bum knee that I broke playing basketball. Hey, but like we don't condone violence here, or self-defense, but not violence here at the Sacktown Breakdown. But if Tap, if you want to go Tanya Harding or Nancy Kerrigan on
It'd take 2 seconds. I could probably hire a couple guys behind like the local Rayleighs over here to do it. I could give them like half a chicken leg from Rayleigh's, and they'd be like elated. They'd love to do it.
That's funny.
Tyler Lydon, protect your neck, like the Wu-Tang Clan would say. Nothing but love for Tyler Lydon. We wish you the best. Shoot lights out, my man. But I am hoping that a roster spot opens up either via him or one other player that we'll talk about a little bit later. We've pretty much wrapped up our feelings and what we're looking forward to as far as the India games. For minicamp, or training camp, I'm always kind of curious, man, because we know, especially even though the season has been extended and elongated, so there's less back-to-backs and different, less, 4 games in 5 nights or 4 games in 6 nights and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, Leo mentioned it earlier. Skills is something that not only in other countries are we seeing an opportunity for there to be more of skill development, but also even here in this AAU culture that we live in, where so many things are about winning and accolades. We see skills kind of not being developed until later on in a lot of people's basketball careers. In such a short training camp, Leo, what is your expectation of what this new coach Luke Walton is actually going to be able to instill, from his system into a whole batch of new guys?
Well, if you guys, follow me, or the people that follow me, they know that I wasn't so hot on Luke Walton when it comes to scheme. I don't think he's the best at it. Analytically speaking, he's one of the worst. His offensive schemes is one of the worst, but his player development on defense is really, really good. He's actually the best. And it showed with Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. They all took steps in the right direction on defense. And that gives me hope, because what does this team lack? Defense. They can score lights out. So if they can really focus on that, and our assistant coach who got fired from the Suns, if he can come in here, actually implement some of his European philosophies on offense, then I think the Kings will be in good shape moving forward. But I kind of went around the bush on Luke Walton, right? But still, like, I think after having an unsuccessful tenure with the Lakers and having a successful tenure with the Warriors as a player development coach, we have to be very clear on that. He was the assistant once Kerr went down, but in his actual role, he was a player development coach. He wasn't even the offensive coordinator. So that's why he's so bad at scheming, because he was never put in that position when he got to the Lakers. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So do I think, like, if you are making can understand simple stuff, I don't see how a brilliant mind like him, who grew up in the basketball family, wouldn't be able to adjust and just become a better coach just from that aspect alone. So I do expect growth from him, and surround himself with better coaches, with better assistant coaches. It's only going to benefit him.
That makes sense. That was kind of like one of my biggest things, because when everything was going on with we were all watching the Warriors at that time, because we were wondering, like, hey, are they going to beat the Bulls record? Are they going to have the biggest winning record of all time? XYZ. Of course, Coach Kerr, he goes down with the back issues, has to have the surgery, corrective surgery. Unfortunately, there was an issue with the corrective surgery, allegedly, and he had some issues with the spinal cord fluid. So that's when Luke filled in.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Luke is a game manager. Players love him. He's a player's coach, which from that aspect alone really helps, right? If you're a head coach in the NBA, obviously the great coaches like the Greg Popovich, they're great from a scheme standpoint, and they're great player coaches, right? But Luke Walton is the thing with Dave Yeager. Dave Yeager was a great X and O's guy, but he wasn't very liked. And you have to be liked if you're a head coach. So he already has that going for him. Now the next step for him is to really understand scheme and really implement a solid offense, because their offense was so atrocious last year. After running one set, they would stop and then they would go into some ISO mode. Like, they have to run multiple plays in one possession, and they ranked the lowest in the entire league. So that tells you a lot from that entire coaching staff, and that's the one thing that does concern me. But again, bringing in the guy from the Suns, it gives me hope for sure.
I like the fact that we were able to bring in Igor Kokoshkov, especially since his calling card is
Igor.
Yep, especially since his calling card is defense. And that's what we just needed a little bit more of. I saw the bump that we got when Harrison Barnes came in. Having an actual true, fully sized small forward, made a really big difference. But, the fact of the matter is I watched all that Warriors sequence. And then my roommate, Malik, is actually a Lakers fan. He's a Lonzo Ball fan and a Lakers fan. So I happen to watch a lot of Lakers games. And before he even said anything...
Love Lonzo.
Right on. Yeah. You are known to be a Lonzo fan. I really like Lonzo and the idea of what he could be, but I'm a confidence guy. And you got to find your confidence. Until then, you are where you're at. But my big thing was that immediately because remember, I split his tenure with the Lakers in two different parts. Before Bron and after Bron. Regardless of how people feel about Bron, and the term coach killer gets thrown around, and I'm one of those people that will say it, but if we're going to be milder, Bron installs Bron ball wherever he goes. Fact of the matter. So before that, when it was all Luke and he was trying to bring the, space and pace, identity from the Warriors over to the Lakers, he had Brandon Ingram, he had Lonzo Ball, he still had Julius Randle at that time. And one of the first things,
but the thing is, though, even without Bron, their scheme was still the worst in the NBA. Like, they still ran so much ISO, and I understand how people slam LeBron for that, but I'm like, no, they were doing that the first 2 years on offense. Like, they were terrible on offense as well. So it's not like it was LeBron's fault. No, that was on Luke Walton, and I want people to really understand that.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of leads into what I was saying. Before Malik even realized, I said, hey, what offensive scheme are they running? Because I keep seeing Lonzo go bring the ball up, pass it to Brandon Ingram or someone else on the wing and run into the corner. And he's not shooting very well. So why is your key distributor giving the ball up at the top of the key and running into a position on the court where he's not effective? No one's throwing him lobs. He's not cutting to the rim a whole bunch. What is going on? And Leak at first didn't really, he's in the chat right now. He was kind of like, I don't know, let me see. And it took a few more weeks of him seeing it, and I kept pointing it out like, hey, Lonzo just did it again. He gave up the ball at the top of the key and ran around. This is not how he was playing at UCLA. And eventually it got to that point. And now when Rondo came in, obviously things would change a little bit because Rondo will install Rondo ball, which, obviously we've seen with the Celtics, but we got a first row view when he was here in the Kings and he was, passing the ball to pad his stats so he can get up out of here.
Selfish passer. He's a selfish passer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which a lot of people don't. Right. It's crazy.
He'll have a wide open drive to wide open lane to the basket, and he'll go up for the layup and then pass it because he wants to assist. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Right. So I saw those things early on, and I chalked part of it up to inexperience on Luke Walton's behalf, and I chalked the other part up to his personnel that he had. He went from having the best players in the league that he can have for what he wanted to do and what he was already used to having people that, more or less were inept. And it would have taken, a Greg Popovich or a more tenured coach to get the most out of a bunch of guys who haven't even played for 4 years. Even Julius Randle, he got hurt his first year, he broke his leg, so he missed a year off, out of the league because of that. So I split it up into both ways. But one of the biggest things that I did point out was that the offensive schemes that they would run from when Zoe was in there to when Rondo was in there were pretty much pitiful. Wasn't enough off the ball movement, wasn't enough ball movement as a whole. Like Leo said, there was a lot of ISO ball. And that just got worse when Bron came, because Bron, regardless of how we feel, like I said, Bron installs Bron ball. So it was worse, but it was also more effective, so they won more. Tap, what are some of your thoughts and whatnot on what we can expect Luke Walton to instill in everyone?
But real quick, though, with
What were you saying, Leo?
but real quick, with Braun, yeah.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Leo, you there?
Yeah. And can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you. Can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. So perfect. So with LeBron last year, he had 0 shooters on the team, and that was a big part of why LeBron ball didn't work. Right?
Yeah, I mean that rest, being in the West, there was a bunch of things. I mean, it's kind of similar. Like Luke Walton and Bron were in two similar situations. Luke Walton came here and didn't have the personnel and was inexperienced. Bron came here, does have the experience, doesn't have the personnel, and he's in a tougher conference. So I mean, things were just stacked against him. You will come to find out, I am one of those people where I respect Bron more now because he finally developed a jump shot. But I am not a LeBron James fan. But I'll give him his respect. He didn't have everything he needed for Bron ball, and we obviously know things that were going on in the Lakers were a lot deeper than just what was going on with head coaching
Correct.
choices, stuff that was going on the court. Mr. Irvin, I'm not gonna be here, Johnson.
Dude, you sound just like him.
And Rob Pelinka were big contributors to that. But we'll have a whole episode with me and Leo and Tap and Manny where we go all in on the Lakers, because why not? We can. But Tap, what are your expectations of Luke Walton and what he will show these guys and instill in them in the preseason, in minicamp?
Well, here's my thing with Luke Walton was that it seemed to me like Luke Walton had when he first got hired on the Lakers, he had a team with a bunch of young talent that needed to grow, needed to develop, and it fit because Luke Walton also needed to grow, also needed to develop as a coach. And it kind of seemed to me that they were on similar paths. And then when LeBron came there, it was win now, win now, win now. Brandon Ingram obviously wasn't ready to win now. He still needs. I mean, at this point, to me, it's kind of getting to the point where Brandon Ingram is what he is. Kyle Kuzma, I mean, he's all right. I think he's a little overrated. Lonzo, I mean, I like Lonzo, but same as Skip said, he doesn't have confidence. He's always walking around with his head down. I don't know. Lonzo tries to act like he has confidence, but really he doesn't. But my point being is, this Kings team kind of puts Luke Walton back on the path that he was on, where he has a young team that he can try to grow with. Now, I actually think that the Kings team he has is probably a little ahead of where he is, because obviously everything he's done, schemes wise, everything else, it's not been, it's been average at best. But I do like that Luke Walton now has another young athletic team that, it's kind of like what he had before LeBron came and everything switched and everything changed. And I'm hoping Luke Walton, I mean, I don't know how much you can really install in 3 days into a team, instill into a team. But I mean, really, it kind of seems to me like it's almost like Luke Walton needs to focus on the defense. Igor needs to focus on the defense, because you can kind of just roll the ball out to De'Aaron Fox and they can go get you 120 a night, in today's NBA. So, I mean, obviously, if Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox decide to play like James Harden every night, then Luke Walton's going to have to yell at him and tell him to pass the ball. But for the most part, I think the offense isn't going to be too much of a concern, because De'Aaron Fox has got confidence. De'Aaron Fox drives the basket. De'Aaron Fox slashes. He cuts. He does all. Buddy Hield, he's coming off screens. Like, these guys, it's just like what they do. So, and in terms of like, you got guys like Lonzo who pass the ball and sit in the corner. I don't know if that's because Lonzo has no confidence or if that's because Lonzo, that he was told to do that. But I don't think we even have to worry about that with the Kings. I think the Kings are so much further along than those Lakers teams were. And I think I mean, as long as they play good on defense, we'll be solid.
I agree. And of course, I keep reiterating this. We have Rico Hines, who I'm going to dub the best trainer in the whole NBA. And I knew that he was down there with the Stockton Kings. Of course, me and Tap got the drop from some sources in the Stockton Kings organization that he had been promoted. And this is the guy that trains, Paul George is there. Russell Westbrook is there. James Harden, two-time MVP winner, is there. So he trains with LeBron was down there. Blake Griffin. I mean, everybody. The whole Raptors team went down there. They just won rings with Kawhi. So we have Rico. So on the player development side, I'm not worried at all. I do want there to be a little bit more structure when it comes to the offense. I'm not a fan of rolling the ball out there and just playing unless there's a strong offensive scheme. Obviously, we were aware of the era when we had Pete Carrill here, or excuse me, not Pete Carrill, the other guy who invented the Princeton offense. Rick Adelman hired him, and we installed that. That is the offense that essentially the Warriors had been running in the pre-KD, and they tried to run it during the KD era, but it just turned into a bunch of iso ball.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm a fan of an offensive identity and structure. So we don't need to run that every time, but I want us to have some structure there. So that way, hey, if we try to make a play and we see it's not there, our next instinct is to swing the ball and move our bodies.
I agree.
So that's my expectation. And outside of that, I'm with you guys. Defense. Igor Kokoshkov is there. Luke is there. We got a bunch of other talented coaching staff. We need to be locking down. And there was just a small point differential between us winning more games last season and where we ended up. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Any last thoughts on this, guys, before we move on to the next topic?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, very good. So a bit of juicy stuff. This is us giving some more predictions and speculation. Shout out to King's Pulse. I listened to the episode where they were talking about minutes and minutes distribution. Those guys got really deep into it, and they went to a website where they were clocking the minutes that people could have. I don't have that many brain cells. I'm an eye test guy, and I check stats, but I trust my eyes more than I trust the whole number. Numbers don't lie, but they don't tell the whole story. So I run with my eye. Tap, my main man. Let's start with you. Pull up the roster if you guys need to, and I can stall you out a little bit some time if you need to pull up the roster. But I want us to cover starting five and what the priority will look like from that. And then from there, we'll go bench. Did you guys want to do it by position, or did you guys want to just go down players down the list?
I mean, I can give it to you by position, and what I think.
Okay, we'll give Leo some time. Actually, we'll give me some time. Leo can go after you, and I'll go last. But go ahead, Tap. Let us know what you feel like the minutes breakdown, or let's say priority, will be for our players this year.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously, I think your starting five will be, De'Aaron, Buddy, Harrison Barnes, Bagley, Dedmon. These days, it seems like they don't really play. Back in the only coach that really makes his team go hard, like hard, is Tom Thibodeau. He'll make his dudes play 48 minutes a game.
Yeah, and we see how that works out for their knees and their backs and their all of that.
Right.
Look, Luol Deng spent. Jakeem Noah spent. Jimmy Butler went down with an injury when he was out there. Derrick Rose almost took that man's knees. Anyway, that's Thibodeau for you.
I mean, I don't have any numbers in front of me, but like, what's like a normal, like what did De'Aaron Fox average last year? Like
29 minutes, I think.
29 minutes a game. Wow.
I think.
So I mean, yeah, I'd say maybe De'Aaron, give the starters anywhere between. It'd be like between 28 and 32 ish. Depending on how the game goes, there might be a game where you need De'Aaron Fox to play 44. Whatever. But I mean, I think we're gonna have De'Aaron, Buddy, Harrison, Bagley, Dedmon. I'm interested in a De'Aaron, Buddy, Bogdan, Harrison Barnes, Bagley lineup. That's gonna be, I think, our death lineup eventually at some point. If that's what you want to, if we have to have
that's
a
the
death
best
lineup.
Yeah, that's for sure the best lineup.
So we'll see how that works. One thing I'm really interested in too, if we're talking the bench, is the fact that, so we got Corey Joseph, and then we still got Bogdan. We have
Harry.
Harry. Yeah, we have Harry. We have Rashawn Holmes. We have Trevor Ariza.
Bielitsa.
Yeah, Bielitsa. What's interesting to me is that to me, Bogdanovic had a bad season last year, or not the best season last year, because he was basically playing backup point guard, but also guarding the other team's best small forward at the same time. Like he was a lot of the time he'd be, he'd start or he'd come off the bench. Either way, he'd be guarding. There was a game where he was guarding, like 2 games after we got Harrison Barnes, he was guarding Kevin Durant. I'm like, why? That really irritated me. I couldn't. That's when I knew Dave Yeager had to go. But anyways, Bogdanovic, he can actually be a backup shooting guard now, or a spot starting, shooting guard, small forward-ish player. But he doesn't have to be the backup point guard. He doesn't have to go guard the other team's best small forward. He can actually just do what he's good at: shoot, come off screens. He can handle the ball. He's obviously very good at, he's got very good vision. But
penetrate the paint and finish around the rim.
Yes. But he's not going to be forced to do stuff that, he's not necessarily most comfortable doing because we didn't have the personnel. We have the personnel now. There's no excuse for Bogdan to be playing backup point guard. We got Corey Joseph. We got Yogi still, who can light it up, any given night if he gets the minutes. So I'm just, I'm more excited than anything else to see, how they put in Giles, how they put in, how they, if Kyle Guy gets any minutes at all, which I wouldn't expect him to. But I'm kind of interested more at the bench. Rashawn Holmes. Okay, obviously Kyle Guy was going to be too late most of the time, but you know how the Kings are. It seems like they call somebody up every other day. They call you up and call you back down. So anyways, yeah, I'm more interested in anything than like the bench. I want to see how they put in Giles and Rashawn Holmes, because we kind of got a lot of forwards and big men now, which, we got between Giles, Bagley, Rashawn Holmes, Dedmon. That's a lot. Bielitsa, that's a lot of minutes. Someone's going to be unhappy. Someone's not going to be playing, but it better not be Giles, because Giles is the man. I love me some Harry Giles. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in like how the bench is going to work more than anything else, I think.
Yeah. Think about this, and no disrespect to my guy Iman Shumpert, but Iman Shumpert was a starting small forward for your Sacramento Kings all the way up to the deadline.
Yeah.
And that just shows how deep this team is now than they were then. So that's why I think they're just going to be so much better just from that aspect alone. Like, again, no disrespect to him. From day one, I said the dude's like a third string guy, and it just happened that he was our starter. Sometimes it happens that way. Again, that's not Coach Yeager's fault. And I know you kind of threw some shade at him, but that's what he had. And now if Dave had this team, I think they'd be a lot better too. So, which is a whole separate conversation. But again, the starting 5, obviously Fox, Buddy, HB, Bagley, Dedmon, kind of ceremonial in so many ways, but the death lineup is Bogey. Bogey's a starter on so many teams, but he's coming off the bench for the Kings. Fox, Buddy, and Bogey is a very, very nice trio of guards. And I expect them to do big things this year. And then playing HB, Ariza at the 4, and then Bagley at its position, which, again, Bagley's a center. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that, but he's a center, believe it or not. And, you'll have some minutes with Corey Brewer or Yogi, depending on the night. And then Harry Giles, like you said, tap either Bielitsa or it's Bielitsa and Holmes.
Yeah.
One of those guys aren't playing. So we'll see what happens.
I'd probably put my money on it being Bielitsa, but I mean, because I love Holmes. I'm a Holmes fanboy. I love me some Rashawn Holmes. I'm not no Aaron Brewski, but
you need right. I know.
But Bielitsa has the IQ.
A guy that can that has a great feel that can spread the floor and create those spaces for Buddy, Andy, Aaron Fox, and Bogey. So that's why he's so valuable to me, and we'll see what happens. But again, Harry Giles needs to be able to shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. So does Bagley. If not, Bielitsa is going to go in there and just play more minutes.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Leo, was that your take on it?
Yeah. Again, the death lineup, obviously, and anytime you got Fox, Buddy, and Bogey out there, I'll be happy. Honestly.
Okay, dope. I'm I'm going to run down some numbers real quick, and then I'm going to jump in on it pretty hard. Buddy Hield averaged 31 minutes, almost 32 minutes last year. Fox 31, Bagley 25, Barnes 33, Bogey 27, Nemanja 23, Giles 14, Yogi 15. Troy Williams isn't here anymore, but he was he was the only person with size that we were trying to throw in the small forward position when we could. But you could, he was a two-way guy, so you can only use him for so long before you have to give them a normal contract. Corey Brewer, who we eventually got, 14 minutes. Costa 11, and that's pretty much it for everybody.
Shout out to my guy Costa, man.
Shout out to Costa, man. Hey, one of the coolest dudes, one of the chillest dudes, man.
One of the realest human beings you'll ever meet, man. One of the most genuine human beings you'll ever meet, ever.
And super underrated with what he can offer teams, you know, like at that position, especially off the bench. You know what I mean?
He's a great interior defender. Like,
dude,
great.
Solid, man. True team guy. He'll get in there. He'll bang with everybody. He don't back down for nobody. You know, he's he can even be your enforcer. He'll
be back for the playoffs.
See, that's what I was hoping. I was just getting ready to say, I hope he goes over to Greece, kills it, and then finds another contract. Because ever since he was in Denver to going down to Memphis to coming over here, I always had appreciation for what Costa Koufos brought to all of those teams.
He's playing in Russia.
Yeah.
Oh, Russia. I'm sorry. I said Greece. You're right. Russia. Apologize for that. Thanks for the correction. Okay, so now with those numbers being what they were, I'm going to run it down real quick. I'm happy that Bogey will be able to be and play mostly shooting guard, but I actually do want the option to have him at the point sometimes because he is truly a combo guard. He truly is. He's a true combo guard.
I love him at point guard. I love him.
I do too because of his IQ, and I will go as far as to say some of the times him being at point, like he played point guard too much, and I will put that on Dave Yeager, even though I wanted Dave Yeager for one more year. He played point guard too much. But that
was his only option, though. I mean, you had Frank Mason, bro. What do you do there?
Frank and Yogi. So I understand. I know some of the decisions were this is all Dave Yeager had, like playing Shump at small forward most of the year and putting Bogey there at other times. I get it. But until we got Corey Brewer and we got, we got Harrison Barnes. But,
I mean, there was spurts where he'd run the playmaking through Harry Giles too, which was like, that's kind of crazy. Our point guard options are De'Aaron Fox, and then Bogdan, and then Harry Giles.
Yeah, right. And again, personnel. I mean, and Harry was on a tear, and Harry has high IQ. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have experience. So he was trying to let him play make. But what we got a glimpse of is going to be a beauty to watch in 2 years, I'll say 3 years, when Dwayne Dedmon's contract expires and Harry Giles is ready to step into that position full time. But Bogey will get to play shooting guard mostly. Everything that we saw him doing for Serbia, we'll get to see him do in the league. And I still maintain that he actually had a good season. But what happened was his three-point percentage went down, and he was asked to do things that he shouldn't be doing as often. So I'm going to put it on that more than I'm going to put it on just his performance because he still never backed down. He still never lacked confidence. He still did everything everybody asked him to do when they asked him to do it. It's just he was asked to do stuff that he really isn't built to do for as long, and his three-point percentage went down a little bit. That's all. Next, Buddy Hield obviously needs to be playing. I'm going to bump it up. Shoot. I mean, like, the guy can do it. Let's bump him up to, 35 minutes a game. Like, he shoots well, he shoots true. One of the biggest things with the Kings last year is we were top 5 in 3-point percentage, but we were, like, not even middle of the pack for 3-point attempts. So Luke Walton likes to shoot a lot of threes, obviously. I'll see our percentage go down, so our makes and our attempts go up. Harrison Barnes is going to spend a lot of time at small forward as he can. He is truly a combo forward as well, so he does need to play the 4 sometimes in that death lineup that you guys talked about with Bagley at the 5, him at the 4.
In today's NBA, by definition, he's a small forward, but again, this isn't ceremonial. This is where are you best at, and that's where he's best at.
I will agree that if this was any other team, then he would be more in the Paul Millsap role where he would be better there. But I will contend for our team since we don't have a
center with Team USA for a reason.
Because everybody bounced and didn't want to play for Team USA this year. That's why he's playing it for them. But that's another topic. I contend for our team, and I'll even say, like, we can say where he's best at. But the fact of the matter is, when the Warriors were ushering in this, era of NBA that we're in, they won a ring with him at small forward. And that's because they utilized him properly. They utilized him as a 3 and D. If you use him as an ISO player, he's better at power forward. If you use him as a 3 and D guy, be the big body for the other team's big small forward, and just to shoot corner threes and maybe the occasional straight ahead three, for our team, he's best at small forward, and that's where he won his ring.
He's not that fast laterally though, as he was 4 years ago though, and that's what people have to understand though.
He's not, but who else are we going to put on their small forward?
Right. So you just gotta play matchups at that point, right?
And that's what I'm saying. For our team, we can't afford to have him at power forward for too long. When we can put in Dwayne Dedmon at center and Marvin Bagley at power forward, and even in any other lineups, and Trevor Ariza is not going to take.
But they won't be effective if they play Bagley too much at the 4 though, man. Because if he can't extend his range, both of those, it's just, like last year with William Bagley, it just didn't work because they were both guys that made their living inside. And hopefully it changes. I like Dedmon outside, but I do like him inside as well. He has a nice little game inside as well, and that's what people don't really understand yet. But they'll get to see it. I think he's very skilled, and we'll see a little bit of that. To me, Bagley, it's going to come down to, can he shoot the ball at a consistent rate? Hey, that's really what it boils down to.
Which this is only as.
Did you not like his shooting last year?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Who, Bagley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Really? Because he shot. Let's see. He shot 31%. So for a rookie who's essentially a center, it's not good, but it's not terrible for a rookie who is a big man and didn't take a lot of his attempts were 1.5 a game. So at 1.5 a game, shooting 31% in your first year, when you're being touted as a power forward, but really you're a center, that's promising. Because most rookie centers and power forwards, their coach wouldn't even let them take that shot, and they wouldn't even have confidence to do it. So it's not about what.
If you phrase it that way, but from a just black and white, 31% is atrocious. I mean, let's not kid ourselves now.
So remember, 1.5 attempts. We're not talking about 4 or more. So he's not missing a lot, but he's not making a lot either. If you're in 30s when you're a rookie and you're a big and you're taking those shots, I'll give you that because it's your first year. I'm not gonna praise you or crucify you in your rookie year, but he had a promising one. You know what I mean?
Shots yeah.
Right. So and you've seen his videos with.
And
you've seen his videos with Rico where that's what he's been working on. He's been working on his 3-point shot. So I'm not saying so that bodes well. I'm not saying he's there yet. You wouldn't make the claim that he's there yet, but you probably also wouldn't make the claim that he's never going to be good at it. All we can say is, look, he can hit the shot, and we want to see him hit it more. We agree on that. So the fact of the matter is, in year 2, we expect, hey, if he gets that up to 33 in year 2, I'll be happy. And if in year 3 it's at 36, I would say that's a reasonable progression to expect, right, from a big man rookie.
Yeah, if he ever shoots 36%, the Kings will win a lot of games. Facts.
And I think we're going to win a lot of games without that. So if he does shoot that, I think we're going to win even more. So as far as I'm concerned, that's trending in the right direction. When I look at his form, when he takes the shot and how he delivers the shot and the make rate for year 1, in my mind, I'm seeing it trend up. And from there, we'll have to see.
His shot has a little hitch as soon as he brings it up to his head, which is a little bit different from De'Aaron Fox's. De'Aaron's is a little bit more fluid. Which is why we saw such a huge progression in year 2. And a lot of it in year 1, the reason why he shot 29% was because he didn't have strong legs and he just got tired. And a lot of shooting his legs. So with Bagley, I don't love his form, but I am extremely happy that he attempts a shot. And again, I'd rather him take that shot than not, because now the defense respects him and they will obviously respect his game. which
Right,
he's
which opens
best
up the
at.
paint for
Right,
Fox and
exactly.
Buddy cutting to the rim and all that. So that's all I'm saying is that it bodes well. It like what
No
we've
doubt.
seen so far looks like it's going in the direction that you and I both wanted, that everybody wants it to go to. So with that said,
Right.
uh-huh.
I just don't want Zach Randolph situations where we give him the ball and everyone gets out the way and we run a lot of those sets. I would be so freaking pissed if they let him get stats that way, as opposed to him doing the dirty work and being his best version, which is creating havoc inside the paint, using that second jump. But if they run all these isolation sets for him, they're not going to win many games, and I promise you that.
Well, luckily he's a rookie, so I don't see that happening. Luckily, Dave Yeager is gone, and that pre-existing relationship that he had with Zebo from coaching down in Memphis is not in place. Luckily, we have other people that we can depend on to get buckets, and not just Zebo, like we did in those circumstances. So everything that put Zebo in a position to get isolation plays when he had no business, when he's not even in the league anymore, and that was just the season, before this one or before the last one removed. I don't think we have to worry about that at all. But I would say expect that to happen within the next 3 to 4 years as Marvin Bagley gets confidence, strength, and starts to dominate. His athleticism and whatnot will call for isolation plays once his skill level and his experience gets to that point. But in year 2, I don't even see that being something that Luke Walton would allow. But let's see how the year plays out, because we've seen, we have some reasons to be concerned from previous lineups and what we've seen in LA. But we're just talking about rotations and such right now. So Marvin Bagley, he definitely needs to be playing more than 25 minutes, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. I see him playing at least 30 this year. If we're going now from that, we got Buddy, we got Fox, we got Bagley. Dedmon is the only other person I'm going to put at the center spot. I don't see him playing as many minutes. For Dedmon, I see him playing a little bit less, maybe closer to like 22 to 25. And I think you will see a little bit of the, matchup game like Leo was talking about. Do we need 3-point shooting right now? Then Nemi is going to slide in for, 5 to 7 minutes. Do we need rebounding right now? Rashawn Holmes is going to slide in for that. Do we need, or is it the bench time and we can slip Harry in a little bit? We need a little bit of attitude and we need some ball distribution from a big. Then I think you'll see Harry slip in. I think Harry's minutes are going to slowly elevate. I don't think we're going to throw him into the fire, because we let him redshirt the whole first year, and we even took him to the Mavericks to have their medical staff assess his knees and stuff. So the Dwayne Dedmon signing to me was really, hey, Harry, let's let you slowly build up, and then as Dedmon's contract falls off, hopefully you'll be primed at that time, and if not, we'll be winning enough games to where we can get ourselves a solid big to slide in and still bring you off the bench or whatever. Past that, I definitely want Bogey to be our sixth man. I've always contended that Bogey is like our Manu Ginobili, so I would like him to be our sixth man. Of course, when we need, I'd like to see Buddy come out first. I'd like to see Fox stay in, and let's get some our Fox Buddy, type stuff going on. And then I'd like to see Corey Joseph come in along with Trevor Ariza, and then we start seeing guys swap out. I'm just going to talk about guys who are out of the rotation for me, because to me, it's pretty much going to be Fox, Buddy, Bogey, Barnes, Bagley, Dedmon, Joseph, Corey Joe, Ariza, and I feel like I'm forgetting someone else who's coming off our bench.
Giles?
No. I'm saying like solid. I'm saying like definitely getting minutes every game. I feel like I'm missing someone though. No, I think that is everybody. Okay, so I think that's going to be our core 8-man rotation right there. Now, where everybody else gets sprinkled in. Like I said, if we need shooting, we'll see Nemanja. If we need defense and just hustle, we'll see Giles. Or if we really need rebounding and and even some extra girth, that's when we'll see Holmes. I will contend. Now I'm going to get into some. Let me talk about this. I don't see Yogi Ferrell getting a lot of minutes. I don't see. I mean, unless we just really need scoring and nobody can get a bucket, then we'll see him come off the bench. I don't see Kyle Guy getting very many minutes. I don't see Winnie Gabriel coming up very much for very many minutes. Caleb Swan, again, I don't even think is going to be on the team. There you go. You heard it right here. Vanya Marinkovic, who I am actually excited. I'm calling him Bogey Jr. He's not over here this year. I think we might wait another season or two, let some contracts fall off, and then bring him over. But Tyler Lydon, I don't expect to make the roster, and Justin James,
Oh,
even though
trust
we
me, he
signed
won't.
him. There we go. Yeah, because Tap's the other Tyler's gonna make sure of that. And Justin James, this is weird, man. I hate to say this, but I was excited when I saw that we drafted him and his body and everything, and then the whole college thing flashed in my mind. Yeah, he looks girthy compared to those guys. But then when I saw him in the California Classic, all of the games that I was there, he looked like a little runt out there with everybody else.
Yep. Look
Um,
little.
s- Looked really little, and he didn't look little when I was looking at all his pre-draft stuff. So Justin James, I don't
Well,
like,
they
even though
really
he's on our
wanted Cody
roster.
Martin, but Cody
Hmm.
went 4 picks before they had their pick. And, Cody
Hmm.
Martin being my guy in terms of playing at Nevada, my alma mater, I
Hmm.
spoke to him when he worked out with the Kings, and
Hmm.
uh, he had a really good workout. And obviously, Charlotte took him 36 for the same reason, that he's just solid, like plays great defense, great playmaker. He would have been the ideal guy off the bench if they would have drafted him. Honestly, like there was no need for Trevor Ariza if they would have gotten that guy. But hey, it happens that way. Sometimes you can't get your guy.
Exactly. So you go with the next best talent, which is fine. I mean,
Right.
I'm a lot happier ever since King Catanella came over from the league offices, and we've had
Love
some
that guy.
real competency. I marked that. We saw the decisions that Vlade made when it was just him, and then we see the difference in trading for picks, trading back, turning that additional 10th pick and trading it back to turn it into Justin James and Harry
Contracts. I mean,
Giles.
he's their contract
Hmm.
guy. All these short-term deals that are great, like Deadman, it's a
Right.
3-year deal, but really it's a 2-year deal. Like they're
Right.
all 1 year less. So Riza, it's a 1 year really. The
Hmm.
second year is like almost non-guaranteed.
Right.
It's just those things are so important, and that's all Kent Element. So shout out to him for sure.
Shout out to him big time. And shout out to Pete D'Alessandro for doing such a bad job that we got better people in here. Anyway, so now I'm going to talk about some wacky lineups real quick before we wrap up this part, and then we'll get into the last topic before we go. Wacky lineups. So we talked about the death lineup, which is, and I agree with you, Leo. I think Bagley is a center. He just doesn't have the girth yet. So.
Correct.
Death lineups: Bagley, Barnes, Bogey, Buddy, Fox. Definitely the death lineup. And I would go as far as to say, don't be surprised if you see a lot of games closing, with that lineup. And maybe we swap out Bagley or Barnes from Deadwind just for experience sake. But
Yep.
for the most part, I think that's what we'll see. Because we did lose a lot of close games because merely of inexperience and just like mistakes that occurred. The other lineup that I would like to see, now I'm going to start going out there, guys, so you can say, "Oh, Kurt, you're crazy," or you can say, "Oh,
Stop.
that's interesting." Yeah,
Harry
yeah,
Giles
yeah.
at small forward.
Stop. No. Okay. So one of the lineups that I would like to see, and this is a bench lineup, just for agginess alone, the aggression alone of this lineup is what I want to see. I want to see Corey, like aggression and defense. I want to see Corey Joseph, Bogey. Bogey's an underrated team defender. One on
He
one, yeah,
is.
it's tough for him. But dude, people forget he has a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah.
Why do people think he's so good at penetrating and finishing at the rim? All those layups off the glass after he penetrates. The boy's arms are long.
Yep.
So I want to see Corey Joe, Bogey, Ariza, Giles, and Holmes.
I knew that exactly. I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm not like Dave Yeager, but I like me some exotic lineups.
That's not bad though.
No, it's not. It's just like I ain't hear nobody else talk about that lineup. Even when Kings Post did their thing, like I ain't hear nobody talk about that lineup. I'll
That's
throw
a
out
very
one.
aggressive lineup for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's very aggressive, very Aggie. And with Giles being essentially, in my mind, our future Draymond Green, like, and then with as Aggie as Holmes gets, and Trevor Ariza, like the veteran, putting the battery in the back of these two guys, and Corey Joseph leading the front, locking down the point guard. Oh my God. And Bogey back there, like, come on, fam. That's just I can't wait to see that. I'll throw out one from last year that I know people are going to be like, wham, wham, wham. But I'm sorry, when they got together on the court, like we were fast, we were leaping, and we were defensive. I really like seeing Fox and Ben McLemore together for the limited time that they were together last
Oh
year.
God.
Oh God.
I wish the games were still on League Pass because I would run those back for you. There's some sets in like a 7-minute block of time where they were just causing terror on backcourts. Like they were like smothering him. Lateral quickness was outside of the mind.
Ben McLemore?
Like, yeah, dog. Yeah, like come on. Let's be very clear. Look, Ben Mack is not a great NBA player, and Ben Mack has let everybody down. And he got drafted too high. But let's be very clear. And when it comes to wiriness and lateral quickness, he don't have the IQ. But he can stick with the ball, and when he's got another guy to anchor him, but but like I said, that was in small doses.
But then he dribbles the ball off his foot.
Yeah,
goes away.
exactly.
That's why That's why you don't let the man hold the ball. You have him lock it down, get the ball, and he gives it to Fox. Like, hey, I got it, but hey, I don't know what to do with this thing. You take it.
He does it. He's like Danny Green, bro. We knew that turnover was coming in the finals.
Yeah.
Like,
Danny Green
dribble.
is so overrated, dude. He cannot dribble. And what was bad is Ben Mack was out there with Rico, and like his handle was even looking faulty out there last year. And I was like, oh, the ball literally rolled off of his foot one time in a Rico video. It was bad. Anyway, shout out to Ben McLemore. He's a great kid, man. I will always love Ben McLemore.
Love him.
Love that kid, man.
We're talking basketball. Again, we're not criticizing. We're not. Yeah, we're not
criticizing his personality.
Yeah,
right?
We're not critiquing him on a personal level. This is all basketball. This is what he gets paid for. I would love for people to talk shit on me and get paid millions of dollars. I would love it.
Me too. I would love it too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a previous one. Another lineup that I'm interested in seeing is Bogey, Buddy, Fox, Nemanja, and either Bagley or Deadman. Because that'll be our 3-point shooting line. Like we need threes. I mean, we were gonna say Fox, Buddy, Bogey, and like I said, either Bagley or Nemanja. So that'll be like our little 3-point shooting lineup. And I'm gonna leave that there for like interesting lineups outside of the death lineup and some of the other ones. Do you guys have any crazy wacky lineups that you can't wait to see? It don't matter if it's just 2 minutes or 10 minutes.
I'll throw one at you.
Yeah.
But if we go Bogdan at the point, Buddy at shooting guard, Harrison Barnes or Trevor Ariza at small forward, Harrison Barnes or Trevor Ariza at power forward, and Bagley at center.
Oh, length. The length lineup. We got the death lineup, the 3 lineup, the Aggie lineup, the length lineup. This is really like too. 2K. All right, what you got, Leo? What you got?
I got Harry Giles at point guard, Marvin Bagley at shooting guard, Deadman at small forward, Holmes at power forward, and then De'Aaron at the 5.
All right, I'm with it. I got a better one for you. I want to see Rashawn Holmes at point guard. I want to see Tyler Lydon at shooting guard. Let me get Corey Joseph at small forward. Let's throw Luke Walton at power forward.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember, and it was
With
atrocious.
Scal, Bagley.
Oh my gosh, I love Scal too. I love Scal, but
Kyle
my
Guy
gosh,
Kyle
Guy at center. I was gonna put Yogi Ferrell at center, but you can put Kyle Guy there. That's
Yogi
fine.
at center. Who says no?
That's called the we don't want to win lineup.
Hey, you never know, bro. Yogi's a strong son of a gun.
Yep. Shout out to, so for everybody listening on audio or watching the YouTube video, we do this live on Twitch. So make sure you follow us on Twitch, turn on notifications, and check us out. My boy Leak, aka No Casuals Allowed, said, "I liked Fox and Ben too. Slashers are us." That's what I'm saying. It's like a 2K lineup, dog. I'm telling you.
On 2K for sure, Fox and Ben would be nice, but in real life, hell no.
I'm gonna keep it real with you though. In 2K. Ben McLemore's like a 69 overall. I don't know about that.
Oh, bro.
Hey, you got to go in there in the GM and up his stats. You know what you got to do,
maybe,
Tap.
Yeah, there you go. I'll give you that.
Yeah, do that in your next GM video. Trade for Ben McLemore, bring him back.
Has anyone ever told you low-key look like Klay Thompson?
No.
No?
No. Definitely not.
Really?
You don't think I do?
A little bit.
I can shoot like him too.
Oh, okay.
I win. Okay.
I'm gonna have E-Man lock you down, bro.
I was telling
Uh-oh.
Curtis that we should do like a I was telling this maybe months ago. I was telling him we should do like a All the Kings podcast, or as many as we can, get together and record, like film like a YouTube video of us playing like pickup.
That'd be hilarious.
As soon as I start jogging on this bum ass ankle of mine, I'll be good to go, bro.
All right.
I'm gonna get you some KT tape. I got some KT tape from my knee. I'm gonna get you some KT tape, Leo. You're gonna be like James Harden, but with the ankle.
No, well, you saw that I got hurt on June 25th, right? I tore my ligaments in my ankle.
Oh, what'd you do?
I went up for a block. I was guarding Lance Woods, right? That's my guy.
Yeah, Lance is funny.
And yeah, we hoop 6 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I went up for the block and just came down on my ankle and just freaking rolled it completely. And
Damn.
I was on crutches for a long time. It sucks, but I'm barely starting to like move around again and dribble. I can't run yet, but I think I'll be fine by October, like mid-October.
You'll be good, bro. Just don't rush it. I broke my left knee playing basketball. I took a step and heard a snap and went down. I tore my meniscus earlier that year, so I thought I tore like my ACL because I heard the pop. And Leak had to come like get me from the hoop court and all that. And I went to the doctor and he was like, "Oh, we got your X-rays back, which is good news." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, your tendons and ligaments are fine." I was like, "Well, what was that sound?" He said, "You broke your leg." So
you broke your leg.
I broke my leg, bro. The femur crushed down into the tibia and it like depressed the bone like a few millimeters. So I wasn't able to get surgery. So my knee kind of bows.
Right?
No, it did not heal back properly. It didn't heal back properly, but I can play hoop. And I went right back out to that court as soon as I could, and I got buckets because I wasn't about to hold me down.
Well, hey, if we ever do that, what's that?
They said that because I had the worst high ankle sprain that it'd be better to break your ankle because this will always like linger at me and just always like pull. Like if it breaks, it'll like grow back properly, which is why I asked you that. Like obviously doctors will say different shit, right? Some say break it better or you know, sprains better. There's no surgery, but long term breaking is better. Like I don't know, man. At this point I was doing cryotherapy. I just needed to get right for the Bahamas trip, which the first 2 days were rough on me because on the beach when you have an ankle injury,
oh my gosh, it's the worst.
Yeah, on the sand, and I was slow, and like Buddy felt bad. He was like, "Bro, should I buy you a boot?" I'm like, "No, I'm not wearing no fucking boot, bro." I have too much pride for that. I said.
Hey, shout out to Buddy for the boot offer. I would have taken the boot.
That's my guy.
Buddy's a good dude, man.
Pickup game, no we can do it shirts versus skins, but instead you guys wearing shirts, you can just wrap yourself up in KT tape from head to toe.
I'm with it. I love my KT tape.
On team shirts.
There you go.
KT tape.
We're gonna get KT tape as a sponsor.
You realize, right? I'm like a huge sneakerhead, so if you behind me, I got a bunch of sneakers behind me.
Oh yeah, I noticed that earlier.
You see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out some ones though like, that
always
I'm gonna pull out
switching shoes.
Nice. I'm gonna pull out some ones that'll make you drool a little bit, Leo. I'll send you the picture later if you ain't seen them on Instagram already. I told Yusuf if he
show, bro. I get it.
All right. Well, let's finish up the podcast and I'll show them at the end because we're gonna wrap it all up. Since you heard us talk about it a few times, NBA 2K20 is out. You guys have seen that we have been doing giveaways on here. We gave away one copy already. We got another copy. Someone did win, which I'll be sending you your code after this podcast. Don't think I forgot about you, Grace. But a lot of controversy around it. A very controversial launch. I'm not as outraged as some people, but my experience has been very limited because I haven't played the game very much. Let's just go straight to Leo. Leo had some very strong feelings. I asked him to put a cork in it until we got to here. Leo, I popped the cork. Spew it out, brother. How you feeling?
So Sunday, I was in football mode. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go download the demo. Nope. They got no demo for Madden. I was like, what the flying junk? So being the basketball guy that I am, I want to download FIFA. Okay. FIFA's not out yet, which sucks. I think it comes out next week. So they had like this other pro soccer like knockdown version of it. Downloaded that, and I downloaded NBA 2K. So you know what? I'm just gonna play basketball. F it. So I downloaded that. It took forever. As you guys know, my Wi-Fi sucks. So that took forever. It took 2 hours to download. I was excited to play, and you can't even actually play a game. And so how am I supposed to waste my money, right, on this game if you can't, like, I can't play it? And then you guys broke it down for me, and I was like, well, that's stupid. They should have just waited that extra month, right? I'm just upset. And, the fact that you can't play with at least the finals contenders would have been at least nice. But I think like how FIFA does it, where it gives you like the top 8 to 10 teams. I think NBA 2K should do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's the whole thing. So like, for me, I have a YouTube channel completely separate from Sactone Breakdown called Tap 2K, and I make 2K videos. It's what I do. And I took 9 days off of work because I was like, I'm gonna grind 2K. I got vacation. I have vacation. I'm good. I just took vacation. I have a bunch saved up. I'm about to get a bunch more because my anniversary is coming up at my job. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grind 2K. My team, there's a bunch of cards in my team that I was supposed to unlock. I just straight up didn't unlock them. My career, they were supposed to add in a bunch of different custom pie charts and different pie charts in order to be able to make your My Career player more customized. They said they were going to do it. They didn't. Ronnie 2K was saying that you're going to be able to basically respec your builds, be able to go, once you made your My Career player, be able to go back and fix things, within the stats. If you decided that you made him too heavy on defense and not heavy enough on offense, you can't change any of that. Basically, Ronnie 2K lied to us about so much stuff.
Liar.
100%. He just was making, and I was telling Skip, I don't know if he just talks out of his ass, or if he really has no, if his communication with the developers is really that bad that they can't communicate what he's supposed to talk about in his live streams before the game comes out. But there is so much stuff that's broken. You can't play a game on my team. My career, they were supposed to add in stuff to make it better. They didn't. They lied. It's just, this is one of the worst 2K launches of all time.
I agree. For me, like I said, my experience with it is very limited. But I mean, it's just obvious that this launch was marred by so many issues, from server issues to people having disappearing VC. Of course, many of us saw the supercut of all the things that Ronnie 2K promised and that we didn't get. There was controversy regarding the system with my team and the cards and how it was targeting kids, and even had slot machines and things that are very like not, oh, hey, this is just cards. Like those are literally gambling devices. And Tap and I had talked before, and I had made a point to Tap that, hey, what happens when you buy, my daughters, they love Pokemon cards. Hey, what happens when you buy a pack of Pokemon cards? Can you guarantee what you're going to get in there? Do you know what you're going to get in there? Baseball cards, we used to buy a lot of them, baseball and basketball cards, right, Leo? Did we ever know what we were going to get? We knew we were going to get that stale piece of bubble gum, but outside of that, we didn't know what we were going to get. You know what I mean? So, hey, if you don't like not knowing what you're going to get, and it is true on the back end, they can tweak systems to, have this card be more favorable and this card be more rare. But same thing with the factory. When cards are rare, then they're worth more. And when cards are more common, then they're worth less. So that's just the nature of things and how things work. And I'm a big contender. Hey, don't spend the money on it, and you got nothing to worry about. Just grind it, get your NT, whatever. But I also don't judge people that do spend the money on it. My whole thing is, if you spend the money, don't complain. If you don't want any reason to complain, don't spend the money, and then all you're spending is your time. But fact of the matter is, with that, the servers, the rep issue with the rep keep freezing, people getting timed out of games that aren't even online games, they're local play. It is just true. This just from a standpoint, this is one of the worst launches of 2K. I have a much more positive outlook on it, but we don't know when these things are going to get fixed. It's software. That's the way things are going. When companies deploy software, they put out the best that they can. You don't know what you're really going to get until it gets out in the wild and you got millions of different people using it. That's when all the bugs you couldn't find with just 100 people or 1,000 people using it start to show. And you just got to have your devs there ready to go. But hey, I say
Okay.
give it a few months. I think it'll get better, but for now, it's pretty
quick,
bad.
quick question, Curtis. Since you
Yep.
are you're an Apple guy, I love
Yes.
Apple.
Yes.
Everything I have is Apple.
hmm
What
now,
do you
before
think
you ask,
about the launch today?
okay, so here's the thing. Because I like, full disclosure, I work for Apple. I'm actually not allowed to have any comments or any opinions on
Damn
things
it!
when they come out. So
Off the
I
record,
got
you have to tell me then.
off the record is off the record, so we'll see about off the record. But on the record, I'm not allowed to officially speak on anything.
Okay,
But
that's fair. So once we end
Yeah.
this, we'll talk about it, bro.
That's funny
'cause
because
I'm
I,
like,
I was actually gonna ask him the same thing, and then I forgot to. So, but you reminded me.
hey, but here, I'll make it easier for you guys. I'll be honest with you. I have not, before I used to watch every keynote every year. I can't honestly tell you,
Yeah.
I didn't watch, this is another year I didn't watch the keynote. So I don't even know. I saw something about an iPhone 11. That's the only thing I saw, and like a Pro or something else.
I
don't
did not
even know
watch it
anything
either
else.
for like the first time because we're
Yeah.
so busy today with our sponsorship work. But we saw like some tweets about it, and both Iman and I were like, "Oh my gosh! Like this phone has 3 cameras. Like what the hell?"
Yeah. That's I saw that too, which is interesting. Because for me, I am one of those people that I would like loved using Olo clips since I wasn't allowed to bring in larger cameras because I'm not an official media member into the arena. I would have to bring Olo clips in order to get like. Because the digital zoom on the phones are getting better, but optical zoom is like true zoom. So to get closer shots, I'd have to flip it and put on, the telephoto lens, and then for wider shots where I could see the whole arena.
Right.
I got some really beautiful shots on the second level where you can see the whole arena from the wide angle lens. So I like the fact that I won't have to buy a $100 clip anymore, possibly. But outside of that, we'll just see. But anyway, anything else to say about 2K, y'all, or does that wrap it up?
I got something for you guys.
Yeah.
So NBA 2K15's release date, October 7th, 2014. NBA 2K16's release date, September 29th, 2015. NBA 2K17's release date, September 20th, 2016. NBA 2K18's release date, September 15th, 2017. NBA 2K19's release date, September 7th, 2018. NBA 2K20's release date, September 6th, 2019. Obviously, they're releasing the game a month too early, and they can't handle it.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, straight up. Like doesn't surprise me at all. Like they should have just waited a little longer, said, "Hey, y'all, give us the time.
Like
Let's push
FIFA.
back the date." Like FIFA.
Yeah.
It wasn't even released yet.
Right, because they know better. And the other
September
thing with
20th,
FIFA,
I think.
right, and FIFA also got, they got their, their comeuppance, so to speak, for like, because they were in the news about loot boxes and all that stuff even before NBA 2K is. So I think those devs kind of got that part down and was like, let's wait a little bit longer. But yeah, we're just gonna have to see what's going on with the 2K thing. I say within a month and a half, it will be closer to the game that we all want to know and play. But until then, I'm not gonna spend any money on it. I got the Legend Edition. I'll redeem my VC to buy some clothes and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just gonna grind it and have fun. I'm just hoping to dunk on some people, hit some shots. But for all the pros that I know, Worthington Colt, who was my favorite player on the Kings Guard and gave me a jersey, and Zachy and all those guys, it's affecting them because those guys are professionals who make their living off of that game. So those guys are being heavily affected by all of this. So I would like to see it. We would all like to see it fixed in a reasonable amount of time. I know #fire Ronnie2K. Me and Tap talked about it and we went in on Ronnie2K. Apparently the whole world must have watched that podcast because everybody feels like us now.
Yeah.
But I never want to see anybody lose their job. But if Ronnie2K gets replaced, I won't be sad about it. Good luck to Ronnie2K. All right, everybody. That was an extra special and long because we had a special guest episode of the Sacktown Breakdown. Leo, before we take off, do you want to remind people one more time when they can find the GoFundMe and the documentary for Buddy Hield in the Bahamas?
Yeah, so if you visit, if you just type in Buddy Hield Hurricane Relief, it'll pop up. I don't know the actual URL to it. So if you type that in, we still have it in our link. If you visit us on Instagram, we put that on there. And yeah, you can watch it on IGTV on Instagram, or you can watch it on YouTube. which is the full version. So they're both the full versions. It's only like 9 minutes long. So if you want to get to know Buddy, like the roots of Buddy Hield, then I think it's a good video to watch. And I just think if you're just a good person in general, like you'll enjoy it, because the message of the video to me was, no matter how much money you got, if you don't help other people, then what are you doing? Like, that has to be the message that should come across from it. But if it's not, then you just let me know.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I just put the link for the GoFundMe down there in the chat for everybody who's watching live on Twitch. I'm looking for the link for the video right now, so I can put that in there as well. Tap2K, you've been grinding, man. You want to tell everybody what videos to expect for you going forward on your own channel?
Well, I have a Los Angeles Lakers rebuild coming out tomorrow, which I hate the Lakers, but I had to do it. You know, obviously everybody wants to watch Lakers videos, so I made a Lakers video tomorrow coming out, and then I got my team videos and my career. I'm just grinding 2K, and hopefully it gets better in the next couple weeks, because like, you know, every YouTuber, all the big ones, even the ones that get paid by 2K, are making videos on the hashtag #Fix2K20 hashtag. They're all talking about it. Everybody thinks it sucks, and I honestly, one thing I do want to say is that I feel like 2K bends a little bit too much to the pressure of the fan base, in terms of like, they made the gameplay a lot slower this year. It's a lot harder to shoot, and specifically in my team, it's a lot harder to just like green release every shot, and the gameplay is a lot slower. And I think there's more of a skill gap to the game, where you have to actually put it in the hours and be good at the game, whereas before it's kind of just like a arcade style game. And they pretty much reverted all their changes, and it plays just like 2K19 now. And that kind of bothers me. I just feel like that they too quickly bend to the pressure of the fans, because you got a bunch of 8-year-olds that, you know, the game's not as easy as it was a month ago when they're playing 2K19. And that kind of bothers me. But that being said, youtube.com/tap2k. That's my YouTube channel. I got 2K videos there. Come watch them if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to watch me any more than you had to.
I personally will be
So
there.
do you guys use
So
do you guys use Elgato Gaming to stream it?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. Because that's what I have. We just haven't streamed in a long time.
Yeah.
I know when you guys first started, I was one of the people in the chat that was like trying to like tell you things like, oh, try this. Oh, hey, if y'all need help, I'll come over and help. You'll let me know. So it's funny now, things naturally progress to where they are now. Yeah, shoot. Actually, Leo, I when I first met you at Stockton Con a few years ago on the main floor. You was walking around, and I was like,
Did you
oh,
go
Leo
this year?
Beas.
Because
I go every year.
I did.
Yeah, I go every year.
Did
I'm
you
a
go
comic
this year?
book. Yeah, I go every year. I'm a comic book guy. Like, I know artists and all that other stuff. I was in a comic book podcast before, and for the video game Bang. So y'all make sure you tune into Video Game Bang every Wednesday and Saturday. I do all their comic book related content. So I'm all into that.
Did you take your daughters this year?
I did take my daughters this year. Yeah, I take them every year. Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Actually,
this is
Ramon
our
Villalobos.
second.
Oh, this is your second year?
Yep.
Nice, man. Nice. Did you have a good time?
This is my second year, and that's when I take my nieces and my nephews to this. This is more for them.
Absolutely, man. It's a real fun event. So anybody who's local in the Sacramento or Stockton area, make sure you go down there. My boy Ramon Villalobos, who is also a big sneakerhead. He's an artist who's drawn for Marvel and DC. Every time we get together, I put on my Wakanda Forever Edition Dame 5s the first day and pulled up on him. And he had because before he had some Klay Thompson Antas, like playoff editions that were black and gold that were beautiful. So I pulled up on him, flashed him, and he was digging my Stockton Kings hat because he lives in Stockton. But I gave him that work. But then he pulled up the counter and he had some unreleased Adidas Ultra Boosts that ain't even out. So I don't even know. But then the next day, because every year Ramon Villalobos oh yeah, we'll hit him up. I'll show you those. He's gonna be on the podcast soon because he wants to come and talk. He's a sports head too. He's a Warriors fan, but he's a Stockton Kings
Right.
fan now, so he's gonna come and talk about the Stockton Kings here in a few weeks. But every year I see him, he always gives me D Roses. Like he just gives me D Rose shoes. So last year he gave me some D Roses, and this year he's like, "Hey Kurt, I got these shoes for you. These D Roses. You just got to see them together. They belong together. I got to give them to you. I need space for more shoes." And so I make this guy take
What
stuff.
size
I'm
are
like,
you?
Me, I'm a 11 and a half.
Oh, me too, bro. So slide them my way.
Yeah, when I start running out of shoes, I'll slide them your way. But and then the next day, so he liked the hat, so he told me he was gonna bring the shoe. So I went down again the next day. I bought him a Stockton Kings hat. He showed so much love, but I pulled up on him in my Captain America Adidas Next Levels. And yeah, I think I got him. Oh heck yeah, dog! Are you kidding me? Yeah, I got those shoes. Bro. Wait till we're done. Everybody, stay for the after show. We're about to wrap this up, but stay for the after show. Me and Leo about to pull out some kicks. Okay, hey, nice, very nice.
These are the
Hey, bronze, right? Or KDs?
12. These are the KD8. Sorry.
KD8s with cap on them. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna pull mine out in a second. Give me just a second. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I know we went long on this one, but we packed it full of good stuff. Great conversations. We agreed on some things. We disagreed on some things. But the fact of the matter is, you had 3 kings, all from the kingdom, coming and giving you our kingdom perspective. You know what I mean? So as I always say, y'all stick with us. The kingdom rises. So y'all keep rising with us for Tap 2K, Leo Beas. This is your boy Skip. And y'all take care. Peace.